guess what's back? The box is back! I think I need to put something Starkid related on the front. If you have any ideas, let me know. If you missed the previous video where I did this, I will put a pop-up and the link in the description. Please do check it out. I had a lot of fun doing that. So it was a great response from the previous video, which I loved. I love this format and I'm really glad to see some of you like it as well. So there are two comments I wanted to bring attention to. There was Fire Shitter, who is becoming a regular of me shouting them out, to be honest. Hi Fire Shitter again. So Fire Shitter paused the video after I did my first three characters, which was Greenpeace Girl, Grunt was the villain, and Ron, and did their own story and put that in the comments. And number one, check out that story. And it really just sparked something in my brain. So at the end of this video, I am going to pick 3 characters. I'm not going to do a story. That is up to you guys to do the story, and then my favourite I will give a shout out to in the next video I do of this. I thought that was a good idea. The other comment was by Kai Fisher, who went, love this, want to try make my own. Side note, if you want to do your own version of this, please do. Just please give me a shout out, because this is my idea. I have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun when I last did this, so I'm excited for this video. And if you guys want to do it as well, do it. Just please do give me a credit if you do it. It's my work. I know chopping slips up and putting them in a box might not seem, you know, like 9 to 5 proper working hard job, but it's still my work and I just want credit for it. Side note ended. The favourite one, Baguette abducting Tim and Emberly. I liked that one. It was that one and the Greenpeace Girl and Ron try and take down Grunt. Those two are my favourites. The middle two, not as good. Especially on rewatch, I was like, they're not as good. But Kai also said maybe add an object in too, like wand, wagon, wiggly doll, trash can, and I love that idea. I have started collating a list of objects. I'm not doing it in this video though. I will be doing it in the next one though. I'm mainly saying this because I love the idea. And if you've got an object from Starkid that you really want to be included, please comment down below, because I want to make sure that we have enough objects so it's not like the same object coming round and round and round again. I've already got another couple. Red Vines is definitely in there, guys, so you don't have to put Red Vines. Also the Zephron poster, Wiggly doll, everything Kai mentioned is in there. So yeah, if you have an object that you think, oh my god, this definitely has to be in there, just comment it down below and let me know. Ready? Okay. So this is going to be the same format as last time. The first one is the main character, the second one is the love interest, and the third one is the villain. Here we go. Alfred is getting his own story. The love interest, Lucius Malfoy. I kind of ship it. The villain, Sweet Tooth. At least they're all part of the same time period. We know it's happening in Gotham. It has to, because 2 of the characters are in Gotham. So, this is going to be young Alfred, because as we know from our Batman lore, Alfred is a badass. He's young Alfred and young Sweet Tooth, like teenage Sweet Tooth. And young Lucius Malfoy as well, because I've got to make sure there's nothing illegal going on. Young Alfred is in Gotham, and he goes to a ballet or dance show. And there's this guy up on the stage dancing around, looking amazing, and Alfred's like, oh my gosh, who is that? And goes to the stage door afterwards, and Lucius Malfoy comes out, and that is the guy that was dancing around on the stage looking awesome. And they flirt at the stage door. It's every theatre fangirl's dream. Flirt at the stage door. Lucius goes, hey, do you want a drink? And they go get a drink. And when they're at their first date, Sweet Tooth comes in, kidnaps Lucius, and runs away, and Alfred has to hunt down Sweet Tooth and get Lucius back. Pretty much just the basic plan of any superhero movie. Like the really basic, like the old school Batman and Superman ones. They have a love interest, the love interest gets kidnapped. Oh my god, let's save them. Not an overly complicated one. I mean, I think with that, I think I just kind of stop before I overcomplicate things. Same as last time, these three are not going back in the box now, but they will be going back in the box later. The main character is Remus Lupin. The love interest is Colonel Schaefer. And the villain, Smelly Balls Firebringer, is again being a villain. So, I had to do a quick Google just now on who Colonel Schaefer was. And I feel like an idiot. So for those of you that don't know who Colonel Schaefer is, I'm hoping I'm saying the name right. Looks like that. Colonel Schaefer is Jamie's character who tells Emma that Paul's, like, the one who comes in at the end, like right at the end of the guy who did like musicals. Who's like, everybody's dead apart from you and Peanuts. Woo! Remus Lupin, the main character. So Remus Lupin is being part of the Order of the Phoenix, travelling around the world with Sirius. They stop in Hatchetfield, where time is going a bit wibbly wobbly. Doctor Who found out that. And so there are people appearing from different timelines and different points in time, just randomly appearing. And Remus is like, we have to stop this, we have to save people. And so he and Sirius team up with Colonel Schaefer and Peep and other, like, they get a whole gang together and they all team up to destroy this new bad, which could be Peanuts. I mean, it could be Peanuts. They're all teaming up and they're fighting Peanuts. Let's say it is Peanuts, who is distorting reality and time. One of the villains to come through is Smelly Balls, and because of his primitive mind and everything, he becomes possessed by Peanuts. Starts doing a rampage out on Hatchetfield. Remus Lupin and Sirius go in to save the day, and Sirius dies. Yeah! Sirius dies and Remus is really upset, and in his, when weeping and everything, Colonel Schaefer comes in and saves Lupin's life. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? Because she seems like that sort of character. And Remus is like, but my friend, he's dead. Follow emotion there, Catherine. They bring Sirius's body away from the battlefield and they say goodbye and everything like that. Remus is really choked up, and then after a bit of moping, Colonel Schaefer persuades him to come back into the fight, and the two of them lead the charge against Smelly Balls and Peanuts for victory. I think that is where I have to call it for that one. Peanuts, the Hatchetfield. Yeah, I'm almost 100% certain Peanuts is going to be a villain. That one wasn't so bad. I quite like that one. So it's got a bit more of complexity than just the Batman remake. The main character is Nora, and the love interest is Jafar, and the villain Taz from Starship. All three of them are from different time periods, different geographical locations. This is gonna be fun! I had a thought, I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, so Nora hooks up with Ted. His flat or home is being remodeled, or there's something happening and he can't go to his home, so he takes her to his office to hook up. It's a place where I know she can time travel, so because I don't want to use the Peanuts is invading Hatchetfield again. They have sex in his office, and Ted just leaves and accidentally / maybe on purpose locks her in his office, and she's really annoyed and just tries to get out, tries to knocked out the door, but now she's just she's really tired and decides to sit in his chair and fall asleep. She's trying to get some sleep for a little bit, and then maybe in the morning someone will let her out. Well, while she's drifting off to sleep, she wishes that she was in her favourite Disney film. You get where I'm going with this. So she time travels back to Agrabah, and she arrives in Agrabah, and because she's an anomaly, she's dressed in different clothes and she acts in a different way, everyone's a bit suspicious of her, and she ends up doing something that gets her arrested and brought in front of the Sultan. Jafar's like, she's harmless. She's an idiot, but she's harmless. And so sticks up for her, and then in doing so, accidentally insinuates to the Sultan that he wants her as part of his harem. I don't know why so much of the story is revolving around sex, but anyway. Jafar's like, I'm not that kind of guy. That's not me. So you can help me with my work in terms of science. And because she owned a coffee place, she makes good coffee. Even though they probably would have had stuff for coffee. She makes coffee for him. They butt heads because they got different personalities. Jafar's a bit more practical, whereas she owned a musical coffee place. I get the sense from Nora, even though we don't have much, I don't have much to go on with the character of Nora here. But she might be a bit of a dreamer, a bit of ambitious sort of thing, and Jafar, understands and respects it at the same time and going, you're a bit weird. So they butt heads a little bit, but they end up working together quite well. Then the Starship Rangers pick up on the space-time anomaly because Nora being in Agrabah at that time changes the whole timeline, because then Jafar and Nora will get together and Jafar won't become the genie and all of that, the rest of Twisted. Because this happens after Shahrazad is dead. So sorry for that. Because of that, the Starship Rangers are alerted and go, we need to sort this out. And so Taz leads a group down to Agrabah in order to try and kidnap Nora, or kidnap Nora, because she's the anomaly here. Kidnap Nora and set the timeline right. But it's too late because they try and kidnap Nora. She's too cool for that shit. He's beating them up and all that sort of stuff, and Jafar comes and helps and saves her. Well, she saves herself, Jafar helps. So Jafar and Nora beat Taz and persuade the Starship Rangers that everything's okay. Because so Taz is the main sort of villain in this case, the fact that she's actually actively being the main one we see. But there's a puppet behind the scenes who is either Junior or Junior's dad, who intentionally wants Nora out of the way because with her in Agrabah it's a more peaceful timeline or something like that. Also in this story, Nora is the latte hotte. Side note. That one I quite like. The main character, Tom Houston. The love interest is Schwoopsie, and the villain is Ron Weasley. How do I make possibly the sweetest person in all of Starkid a villain? Tom buys a new car, and it's a DeLorean. Some of you might see where I'm going with this. Borrowing a little bit from another different fandom. He gets in the DeLorean and is like, this is really cool. And he puts his foot on the gas and he hits 88 miles per hour, and all of a sudden, but he didn't set the timer to anything. He didn't, the car then takes him back to prehistoric Hatchetfield, which I believe could be where the tribe is. So he arrives in the DeLorean and is like, what is going on? That is when Jamila and Zazalil find him. To be honest, they're probably the ones that will find him. Zazalil is like, that's really cool, but who are you? Like with the previous one involving time travel going back to them, Jamila would be welcoming, Zazzle will be, who the fuck are you? But also, where did you get that machine? It looks interesting and not made out of stone. Tell me about it. Tom is rendered speechless and is confused, assumes this is all a bit of a practical joke. Looking around, he gets back in the car and tries to like drive back and realizes no, Hatchetfield's not there. It's just more of these houses that have been burnt down, and he realizes, oh, I'm stuck here because if you've seen Back to the Future, then you know he needs lightning. He needs power to get back to the future. But he desperately wants to get back home to Tim. He might as well make the best of it and uses his skills as a, I think he was woodwork. I think he was woodwork. Right, guys. Out of storyline here. In Britain, well, I never had a woodwork teacher. I took design and technology, or DT. I was really bad at it. I'm really sorry, Mr. Palmer, if you're watching. Really sucked at it. I think he was woodwork, but I would just say he was a design and technology teacher. Anyway, he decides to use his skills to help them rebuild the village. And so he helps rebuild the village, and Jamila and Zazzle, like, well, Zazzle warms up to him a bit more because he's teaching them things about how to actually do stuff and make stuff look cool. Because of course he's from our time, so things are looking a bit more modern. So one night, Tom's sitting in one of the huts, really upset because he misses his son and he wants to get back home. Schwupsie comes and tries to cheer Tom up because that's what she's good at. She's the creator of comedy. She tells him the joke and tries to make him laugh. The two of them become good friends. He comes up with a couple of jokes of his own and they have a bit of a back and forth. Ron is a member of the Auras, and it was all over the news of seeing a car disappear. Ron, thinking it's his father's car, decides to go to Hatchetfield to try and sniff out a bit of what's gone on. Comes across Tim, who's missing his dad and currently living with Paul and Emma. Let's just keep the kids safe because that's the nearest family he has. So Ron comes to Hatchetfield looking for information about possibly his father's car. Hermione's left him, so he's jaded. He needs to win Hermione back. And so talks to Tim, finding a bit more information out about his dad who drove the car and that disappeared. Back in the tribe, a storm is happening. Zazzle's out there with her spear. Tom helped remodel the spear to be a bit more, be stronger, so it's all metal. They're past the Stone Age. The storm's going on and Tom can see a lightning flash heading straight for Zazzle, and so he knocks the spear out of her hand and times it perfectly somehow, and the lightning hits the spear and then fuels the car. The car's got lightning. I'm aware that Marty was driving the car when the lightning hit and everything, but that happens, and so Tom hears the car kind of thrum to life and thinks, oh, I can get back to my son. And so he gets in the car, and Schwupsie, having grown quite close to him, is like, no, don't leave. And Tom's like, well, come with me, because he's gone quite close, and Schwupsie doesn't have anything left at the tribe. So says goodbye, gets in the car. He starts driving, and then all of a sudden, they're back in Monday Hatchetfield. He's figured out the setting of the dials and stuff. He's over the moon, and goes straight to Tim. Well, goes straight to his home, realises Tim's not there, so he's like, okay. So, and then goes to Paul and Emma's, and Ron is there, and seeing him go back in, he's like, hey, so you've got the car? Yeah, I've got the car. He goes, okay. And so Ron realises it's not his dad's car, it's this DeLorean, and loses his mind, explodes the car, and starts hunting Tom, Tim and Shrooksy and Paul and Emma. There's some big gaps in that story. If it wasn't for the Ron Weasley, I think if you remove the Ron Weasley from it, it's quite a nice time travelling love story there. It's that trying to make Ron a convincing villain is a bit weird. So tell me down in the comments which one was your favourite. If you've got anything that'll help me make sense of some of the stories that I wrote, if you've got some things to cover my plot holes, please. If you can make Ron a convincing villain in that sort of circumstances, tell me how you did it. And get ready. These are yours. These are your characters. I feel a weight taken off me now that I don't have to come up with this story. Your main character for your story is Noelle. The love interest is Batman. The villain is Crayon Dare from Starship. Those are your characters. Comment down below your story involving those characters. And my favourite, my personal favourite, I will tell the story or give a shout out to at the start of the next video. So thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment. Thank you very much for your support. Love you all. Stay totally awesome.
See what winter brings. Jingle, jangle, pass, scream, the ball.